If you're looking for exclusive content, please don't look any further than joining the Trap Talk Patreon family. Some of the best reptile keepers in this industry are part of the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you connect to a Discord. You can also tap into an Instagram group chat, connect with some of the most diverse keepers we have in the reptile hobby today. Shout out to my Patreon members and be ready for Trap Fest 2026. It's going to be one of the biggest events yet. Find all information again in the very first link in the description below. And again, thank you so much to all my fellow Patreon members out there. Cheers. Shout out to US ARC and all the US ARC members. If you don't know what US ARC is, do not be ashamed. Simply click on the third link in the description below. Go to usarc.org. See what it's all about. See how you could actually protect your own collection whenever a legislation might hit your backyard. You just never know. Things are changing constantly in the reptile hobby, and it's good to know when things are creeping up in your area. So shout out to Phil Goss, shout out to Vanessa, shout out to Jeremy, shout out to all the US ARC supporters and teammates out there. Cannot wait to see how much we fight this year to keep our animal rights. And if you're not a US ARC member, talk to your fellow keepers and just let them know what US ARC's all about, and they're here to protect our animal rights. Shout out to US ARC and all the US ARC supporters.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, coolest reptile network in the world, episode 744, All in the Tree Tuesdays. Welcome back, Brian Latimer, Lucky Leviathans. Excited for this episode, guys. I'm your boy MJ. If this is your first time listening in or watching, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, select all. You'll be reminded every episode released out of the network 7 days a week, and I'm looking forward to getting it in with my boys, Bill Stiegel and Marshall Mendez. What is good, fellas?
Happy Tuesday,
What's up,
boys.
fellas?
Another glorious Tuesday, and but a little different. Bill's recovering from surgery. How you feeling, Bill?
Feeling good, feeling really good. Had my first post-op appointment today. Things are moving along. So rotator cuff repair. I start physical therapy on Friday.
Dang,
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like almost every year you go through some sort of surgery, or like there's like
It's every 2 years, MJ.
oh, sorry, my bad.
I mean, come on. It's every 2 years.
I'm not keeping track.
What's
Go ahead, Marshall.
What's the recovery on that? How long for you're back to 100%?
Total like 5 to 6 months. Out of the sling, the last day of March. So I've got
Okay.
4 more weeks of this nonsense. So the pain was almost minimal, but this thing is a beating. It's on 24/7.
Got to sleep with it and everything.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure that took some use to getting.
Yeah, it took me a week, but I'm finally semi used to it. Of course, I'm a side sleeper. I'm used to sleeping on my right side, so that doesn't happen. So now I got to sleep on my back, and it's
That's probably what fucked your shoulder. Is that what fucked it up to begin with? Because I feel like that's what I'm the same way. I sleep like that. And then,
I don't think that's what
shit.
messed it up. I think it was just wear and tear. When I was younger, I
Okay.
didn't have a precipitating event, but I think I'm going to be glad I did it. It was really bothering me there towards the end, and it feels good now. So
Maybe it was all those shotgun tournaments you were winning.
I'm sure that putting several hundred rounds on the right shoulder did not help my rotator cuff at all, but I'm not sure if that was the cause.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
how long before you can start shooting again?
6 months.
Oh wow, that's a long. That's a long time, no, for you not to be shooting.
By far the longest I've ever taken off. I've never taken off more than maybe 3 or 4 weeks traveling or something. So yeah, I miss it. I miss it already for sure.
I'm sure you've had all the help. Everything's good on that part.
Oh yeah. Kim's been a great helper, great nurse, great wife. Yeah, and of course, Alex, Jose have been stepping up too. So
badass, man, badass. So, Bill, real quick, I'm curious, where's everything at with all your recent baby? Because you just had a clutch. Can we get to that real quick? You had a pretty good sized clutch from an awesome pairing.
Yeah, it's actually a repeat pairing that Alex and I did together. 18 good eggs. This is the second time I've walked out with a girl laying off the
my God.
Both times it's been this girl.
Right.
So she likes to not have her shed. We knew she was gravid, but we were just off on the dates. So Alex, in fact, FaceTimed me. I was out there earlier in the morning. He came out and said, your girl's laying. There's 2 eggs on the floor. So we scooped her up real quick and got her in a lay bin, and she laid 18 good eggs. And,
those eggs look perfect, Bill.
They do look perfect.
They look nice.
Yeah, even the ones that fell, the 2 that fell, looked good when we candled them. And, they should be really nice. She's an incredible girl. She's a blue line girl.
Yeah, look at that.
Her great-grandfather is the epic Blue Deuce. Marshall.
Wow, nice.
They know that lineage.
So this is what? This is 2 clutches you've got in the incubator now?
1 clutch in the incubator. 2 girls have had their post-ovulation shed. So, yeah, gonna have a few clutches.
So much you're slowing down this year.
Thank God.
Sorta. I mean, yeah, but it's still like good work. You know what I mean? Like my ideal slowing down is what's happening for you right now, Bill.
I don't care if I don't get another clutch all year. If these 3 go good, I'm set. I'm set.
Yeah.
I'll be great with that.
How you living, Marshall? What's new on your end, buddy?
Man, just not much on the chondro front. Got a pair of emeralds that have been locked up, a pair of 50-50 cross hybrids, and I've got about maybe 10 or 12 ball python pairings, and I'm trying to get the chondros to do something. Last time I put them together was probably about a month ago, and females were all running scared. So no luck so far this season yet.
Have you tried different females with the ones that are running away? I'm sorry. Have you tried different males with the females that are running away? Have you done that yet? Yeah, and they still want to run.
I've tried every male that I've got. Yep, they're not feeling it for whatever reason.
Yeah, they do what they do. There's no telling what it is.
Yeah, you're not the only one I'm hearing stories like this from either. It's kind of weird. Like I even have a girl from last year, and again, I don't have any expectations from girls that went last year, but she's ran away from the first 2 guys I introduced her to, but then the third one she seems to take a liking to. Still got no action, but they just sit next to each other. And so my impatient ass waited a week and put another male that I want in, and she went back to fucking running away. So I know there's some sort of chemistry thing with them. Like they either are feeling certain males or they're not feeling certain males. I don't know. Not sure what the hell that really means, but
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, and I don't know why it would be different, 1 year versus the next, because the first time the first pairing for all these girls was the male that they went with last year. And
it could be what MJ said.
They're not ready.
Yeah, I mean, it could be what MJ said. They're just, a year isn't enough time off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Bill, you've clearly had success with females going back to back to back, but it's not every female, right? Like you have some females that take the year off, right?
Absolutely. Some of them I give the year off, and some of them they choose to take the year off.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, since almost all of my females went last year, they would all be back to back trials. So that's why I'm not really pushing it, and just don't probably not going to be a whole lot other than the three clutches coming.
Yeah, and then I know the year before, I don't know, you had fall pairing success, right, Marshall? The last time you had stuff going your way, it was in the fall, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess that would have been like the last good clutch I had was the ones that hatched when you were here. So that was a year ago. So yeah, they were locked in the fall. Late fall, because both of those clutches were laid prior to the end of the year. But I haven't given up yet. Some of these, with all these, I've got five girls. There's no reason why they should all be running. So I don't know what, but I'm just doing the same thing I've done every year, and they're just they're not feeling it for whatever reason.
Yeah, and with your experience, Bill, if you ever had that situation where the female's not going during the typical time, do you try later on in the year, or you just wait for that next year to come? What do you prefer to do with your experience?
Well, this last year was the first time that I gave them a nice, healthy 3-month break, and then retried them again, and then these 2 females, went. Actually, three females now. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I've become a non-seasonal breeder a little bit.
Interesting. Well, keep us posted. Excited for tonight's guest, Brian Latimer, his return here to All in the Tree Tuesday. You guys were both on when he was on last time, or was it just one of you? I can't remember. Both of you guys were on, right? Or you can't remember?
I don't think it was me.
No?
I can't remember, but I think I was on. We'll have to ask him. Maybe he remembers.
All right. I love Brian, man.
I don't think I've ever met Brian.
Yeah, real nice guy, dude. Perseverance all day. That's the guy. He has a good heart when it comes to working the chondros and whatnot. And I'm looking forward to catching up with them. So we're in for a good episode, boys. I'll tell you that much. I just want to remind everybody, Trap Talk 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. You can hear a brand new episode right here out of this network, and you can listen to all these episodes on all major audio platforms. So go at it: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, wherever you want to listen to any of these episodes. Go after it, and thank you so much for all the love and support. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Texas Chondros. My man Mark Hager. Head over to texaschondros.com, see all the projects that Mark's currently working with, and if you go to his Instagram, TX Chondros, you can see all the other fellow amazing Texas breeders that he puts on the map. Does a good job doing that. And Mark's just a really good guy. Looking forward to seeing Mark's productions this year. And again, make sure to go give him a follow, TX Chondros, and go to his website, Texas Chondros. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by David Brahms over at the Reptile Perch. Make sure you get your next PVC perch over at the Reptile Perch. All sizes, anywhere from babies all the way to adults. Best PVC design purchase in the game, hands down. Thank you for everything that you do, David Brahms, and also excited to see what David Brahms does this year with all his Green Tree Python projects. One of the best lines of monocory in the game for sure. So thank you so much, David Brahms. And then, of course, shout out to Focus Cube Habitat's #1 PVC design enclosures in the game. Go to focuscubehabitats.com. Select from 30-plus different design enclosures from their website. Also, follow them on YouTube. Focus Cube Habitats on YouTube. They do updated videos on all their enclosures. They also follow them on Instagram. And I can get my next order in from Focus Cube Habitats. Thank you so much, Steve and Ashley. You guys are killing the game. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Brian Susan over at Sundown Reptiles. If you're going to NARBC Tinley, dang it, wish I was going. I'm not going to lie, because I would be at this guy's booth drooling over all his amazing kahuas, gargoyle geckos, tree monitors. This guy has the best spread when it comes to lizards and monitors at any NARBC. So make sure you go check him out. Brian Susan, Sundown Reptiles. Go to his website, find the link in the description below. And then last but not least, shout out to Morph Market and Morph Market shipping. If you're looking for your next reptile, go to Morph Market for that next reptile, and then also ship directly from Morph Market's website. Save yourself some coin. They have a new feature that if you type in what you're used to paying package-wise, label-wise before Morph Market, it shows you your savings. My savings have been over $5,000 since using Morph Market shipping. So thank you so much, Morph Market shipping. Killing the game. You can also get shipping supplies from their website as well. They have sales on their boxes, so make sure you go at it. And you can actually get your logo on their boxes right now. I know I'd want to get a Morph Market box with Phoenix Reptiles or freaking Red Mountain Herps on it someday.
You already have. Well,
yeah, I know.
Not a Morph Market box. It was before Morph Market shipping.
I know. I was mainly talking to who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, one of these days, man.
But it's coming though, right? Like, meaning you keep saying you're gonna eventually let something go, right, Marshall? Is that still a possibility here in 2026?
Yeah, anything's possible, man. You just gotta just keep dreaming.
Your wildest dreams may come true.
Just keep dreaming. We got to make that a shirt, a Red Mountain Herb shirt. Just keep dreaming. All right, you guys ready to bring Brian on or what?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right.
Let's go.
All right, guys. Welcome back, Brian Latimer, Lucky Leviathans, coming at you right now, episode 744. Let's go.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes,
Exclusive. Oh,
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crowd, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
all right, we're live. Episode 744. Welcome back, Brian.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me.
Man,
Hey, Brian, good to see you,
How-
man.
How's it going, fellas? How's it going?
Doing good. Glad to have you on.
ready.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm-
glad to be here, man. It's been a while. I heard you talking, Bill. It was you and it was Dave D the first time I was on.
Okay. Dave took Marshall's spot.
Oh,
Yeah, he got his spot that time.
All right.
I wasn't mad. It's an honor to meet you, Marshall, but I was not mad to have Dave D
likewise.
on. Yeah.
you normally Alex Warren's my go-to for replacement. I don't remember picking Dave D. That's pretty awesome, then. That's a good.
It was cool to meet him. Yeah.
No Marshall, no Marshall, but still, that's pretty close.
Right.
That's not bad, dude. But listen, yeah, welcome on with Marshall.
Thanks. Thanks.
Excited to get to it, man. You've had some great success over the last year, but I know a lot of stuff has happened to get to that success.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things we're talking about tonight is breeder loans. Brian, one thing I know you and I have in common, if we met some pretty awesome people in this hobby. Socrates, I think, is what brought us together. Like meeting us. But
It sucks about his Instagram, dude. Really, that's so unfortunate.
yeah. Well, when you put bowling eyes over little kids' shoulders and stuff, there's gonna be somebody out there who has something to say.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
His daughter's still out there, and that's cool. He's still doing his thing. I see him all the time.
Go ahead, Bill.
I think her account's bigger than his.
100%.
Oh, way bigger. Yeah, way
Way bigger.
Her account's bigger than all of ours combined. Okay?
Combined. Yeah.
But yeah, she was certified. So I will say I used to always talk shit about that blue check mark.
Yeah.
But that blue check mark is what saved her account. So
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, that's the only reason why she didn't get taken down, because she was verified.
Oh.
Yeah. So something I'm kind of
Sock has been a great mentor, man. To talk about Sock, you can't say enough good things about Socrates.
No, man, one of many awesome people out there. But what I was saying is Socrates is somebody where we don't have any collaborations, but fuck, I would do one with Sock in a heartbeat. I would do one with Bill. Definitely would do one with Marshall. Tell you that much. But you feel the same. I know you made some relationships with people out there where you felt comfortable doing some collaborations, but overall, like, how's that been? What's it like collabing with other people? Let's get to it, dude.
Well, you have two positions, right? You're either sending your animals out to somebody or you're taking animals in. I prefer the latter, but it comes with a ton of stress. It's easy to just send out your female or your male to stud out and, hope for the best with, obviously somebody you trust, and you hope for the best. But it's kind of, once you send that snake out, it's highly unlikely you're going to get that snake back. So you're kind of all in. Once you make that choice, you're all in with it. So it's really important that you pick good people to work with and do business with and stuff like that. And I've been fortunate because I've dealt with Guadalupe Salazar. You guys know him, and he's been absolutely fantastic. He owns Jules, the dam of the clutch that I just had, and
Hey,
David Feinberg.
Those babies are nasty, bro. Those are fucking fire ass babies, dude.
I didn't get to keep a bunch of them, but thanks.
You made them though, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, we made it happen. Yeah, but and then David Feinberg has been.
I saw today where he just opened his box of his, and
I sent them out. I sent those out last night. I had to get it done before this podcast. You know what I mean? I had to get it done, get it off my chest.
They look pretty big. When were they born? They look fucking pretty.
They hatched on January 6th, and they ate right out of the eggs, man. All of them. They're 01. Lupe has number 1 from the clutch, and it was a little bit touch and go. Needed some assists, so he's working on that one. But the rest of them ate right out of the egg. Monster clutch. Most of them have already had second sheds already. So they're big. They're moving right along. They're huge, and I offered some of them up on MORPHMARKET even already. And they've flown off the shelf. So, you know, it was a fantastic clutch. It was a great clutch, healthiest clutch I ever hatched, actually. So real happy with it.
How did you guys split them up? Did you get them eating first and then pick from the eaters, or did you split them up before you even tried, or what?
We split them up before we even tried feeding. Right after the first sheds, luckily they all shed within a day, 2 days of all of each other. Which was great. That was a great sign of, you know, the overall health of the clutch. And we split right then. And then I offered meals with chick down right after that. And they just took off. They just took off. So, you know, people got snakes today, David and Lupe, that are, you know, well established, 7-8 meals in, 2 sheds. So I'm pretty proud about that, to be able to deliver that to these guys who, you know, had faith in me and believed in me and sent me their animals, you know.
Okay, so they both sent you animals. You didn't own either of the 2 animals?
I did not. And that wasn't the original plan. The original plan was to pair both of those animals with a male and a female that I do own. But like you guys were talking about in the pre-show, sometimes stuff doesn't happen. You know, Marshall said he was rotating males, and you just gotta, you know, kind of go with it. Females aren't always going to go. Males aren't always going to be interested. You got to swap things in and change things up. And, you know, I kind of did that without their permission. So that's on me. But we made it happen, and you know, we got through it. So that's why there's 3 IDs on that clutch, is LGSJFE, because I did not own either of those animals, but I mean I did make it happen. So
Brian, you're a stand-up guy, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
You could have manipulated things where clutch with whoever owns the female, right? I mean, I'm just saying.
I've done, and this is Jules' second clutch, and so I've dealt with, you know, me and Lupe had a clutch before this in 2024, and I sent him some neos then, and so he is kind of, you know, second time for him. This is my first time with David, and so I mean, if you ask me if I favor Lupe's been great. He's a great friend. He's been so understanding, so patient, and you really got to work with people like that if you actually want to make this happen, because at any point these guys could have turned on me and burned me and been upset, and they have every right to be, you know. So I'm glad that it's all done. I'm glad it's done and they have their snakes and we can move forward, because that was stressful. It was stressful just having 10 snakes that don't belong to me in my rack. It was stressful. You know, it's a lot of money. It's not about the money, but it's a lot of money, man. And these people have expectations, and it's very stressful. So that's one thing to be said about joint pairings. It could be a lot of stress.
Well, let's get to this, guys, and I want all your take on this. So, you know, obviously everything has an agreement, no matter what the breeding loan is. But typically, I know with Bill and Buddy, when you guys have something split, Bill, he sends them to you unestablished, correct? Or does he get them going first and then does he send them to you? I'm just curious, like, what people should consider when doing a breeder loan like this. What's worked for you and Buddy, Bill?
Well, I mean, it's all about clarity up front. And about
transparency, 100%.
Transparency, what you guys agree on. I've got a lot more time on my hands than Buddy does, so it just made perfect sense for him to, you know, as soon as they come out of the egg, put them in the box and send them down here. That's been our usual arrangement. And then I get a little extra, you know, for establishing them,
right?
You know, my end, as far as, you know, quantity of neos that do get established. That's worked out great. you know, the other breeding loan, I've had 2 other people I've done breeding loans with. Obviously, one is Alex, and we've had several projects together, and that's really easy. He's local. I mean, he's me. He's mini me.
Yeah.
So those are easy. And then the only other one I've done was the Sickness 2.0, where I reacquired a male, bred it to one of my females. It was a small clutch, but because I did the breeding and the establishing and had the female, I got a slightly higher number, you know. Well, hell, we established 3 neos and I got 2 and he got 1. So, you know, but mine have been super, super easy. But like Brian said, you just have to have the right people in the mix. You know,
You do.
There's probably just a handful of people I would ever consider doing it with, just because it can turn really bad.
It can turn ugly. And in my experience, it almost did. I mean, it was all cool. And then once those animals hatched and we were looking at 6 reds and 9 yellows and it was 100% hatch rate, it became, you know, a little bit, you know, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus here, but it became a little bit dicey. The reality hit and it was like, okay, this is a lot of snakes. This is a lot of value. These are beautiful. They're gorgeous. So it became, you know, everybody was cool though. David was cool and Lupe is obviously a top G. So everything was cool and we got the snakes out to them. And like I said, I'm just proud to be able to do it. And I kept 3 yellows and 2 reds myself. So we split it 3 ways evenly. Lupe took first pick. David took second pick all the way down. And I got third pick. And
David who? I don't know why that's
David Feinberg. He's a Fine Print Exotics. He's a big carpet guy. He does a lot of diamonds, and I had a split clutch with him previously, but it was with a diamond python paired to one of my jungle carpet pythons, and so that we did that hybrid pairing, and that was successful as well. And so yeah, David's a great guy to work with, and you know, so obviously so is Lupe. He sent me his Aru. There was, you know, he had this random Aru locality animal. Obviously, Guadalupe doesn't have locality animals. He doesn't do that. He's very much into the blue and the designer stuff. So, you know, it was an amazing opportunity for me because Jules is an amazing female, beautiful high white Aru, and it fits right into my collection. So I was happy to, you know, take her on and work with her, and we've been successful twice so far. So.
Jules is owned by Lupe. I could have sworn Jules was your snake.
No, Jules is owned by Guadalupe. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
That's her just after laying. Right there.
Well, Ryan Young is drooling. I can feel it. He's out there.
Ryan Young is drooling. Ryan Young has got nice animals. All my stuff is like imports, F1s at best. Ryan Young has established high white. That's a little bit different than what I'm working. I'm trying to get there, you know. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Ryan Young.
But clearly, looking at those babies that you just sent, this was not paired to another Aru. So Ryan Young is puking.
Correct. Yes, he is. He is absolutely. And I don't know if you noticed, like the names I've been naming all of my red Neo half Aru animals. They're like Atrocity, Calamity, Blasphemy. You know, awesome. I've got a list. We're gonna run it down when I produce some more eventually. But yeah, they're not supposed to be here, you know what I mean? And that's kind of why I'm chasing it. I like that. I like that aspect of a red Aru, and we'll try and climb the percent. Shout out to Sean Beck. I don't know if you guys know him. Sean Beck is doing a similar thing with his designer crossed with Aru, and he's making some 75% red Neo Arus that are just amazing. So I've been talking to him a bit, and he's a few steps ahead of me on the path, but we're both going down that same path where we're trying to make some red Aru, which I think will be really cool. They look great.
So this is just a locality outcross pairing?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's Cyclops Aru, and the female you saw, and the Cyclops male he's modest. He's not anything crazy high white or anything like that. He's a modest red Neo Cyclops. And
is he on here?
I don't know if he is. Yeah, I don't see him. That's a Jayapura Aru right there. That was a red.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty
beautiful.
That's a nice. It's got a nice glow.
I did not know Cyclops and Aru could throw some crazy shit like this, man.
Yeah, I mean they came out really nice. A lot of really dark pattern animals, a lot of black pattern animals. Yeah, Lupe took
It's like all
took
the
the first
red
pick.
Aru babies always come out looking real different, you know?
Yeah, they're it's just it's a real wild card in my opinion. And you know, I just like the idea of going against Mother Nature. Sorry, Ryan Young, but I love
me.
Aru, and I'm always going to produce, you know, Aru.
No
And
apologies needed on this podcast, Brian.
I do love the Aru, and I'm going to keep it pure. I'm always going to breed pure Aru animals. I love the high white. I like to, you know, if we could keep this thing going, we could be making some Aru that look like Ed Marino emeralds. You know what I mean? We keep this going. We can figure this out. We can get it right and make some awesome white Aru. So that's kind of my goal over the next 5-10 years.
And again,
generations.
that's just getting two high white Aru animals and putting them together, you think? Or what
Well,
do you think?
that doesn't always work, you know. And I've watched the podcast. Ryan has spoken on this topic before. It really doesn't always work. You can have two high white animals and pair them, and you know your clutch doesn't show any of that. Other times it can. I think it's just you have to have the right two animals that line up, where those chromosomes line up, those alleles line up, and then you can get that high white to come through in the offspring. And so it's with Aru, it's a hit or miss, you know. And it's a gamble. I've produced some absolutely amazing high whites, but they are just, it's kind of a fluke, I guess you could say. There's no guarantee that an animal is going to be.
Were they from Aru to Aru, or were they crosses?
They were Aru to Aru.
This pairing right here, or a different pairing? I can't remember.
That it was a different pairing, but that is the dam. The dam that she has almost no white on her, that blue snake, but she has produced some really high white animals.
Look at this shit. Oh my God.
Yeah, that pairing's going this year. That's part of my 2026 plan right there. That's A-Ball and Alba.
I want some of this.
Now,
Brian.
are those captive bred animals, or are those?
They imports? They're both imports. They're both imports. All of my high white animals are imports. In fact,
nice.
Even Jules from Lupe, he got her as an import. And
did you get them young?
Most of them are, man. Like
yeah.
It's a mystery. Why is that? You know,
I'm not sure, but I've been over the last 6-7 years. I've done my best to collect as many of them as I can. And I'm just, I'm throwing pairings together. We had a lot of success with one of my males and Jules, Lupe's female. We had, there was 14 Neos. I lost 9 of them. We only has 5 in 2025. That was in 2025. I lost 9 Neos from a joint pairing with Lupe on the first try. First joint pairing with Guadalupe and Jules. 14 babies. I lost 9 of them. Established 5. Just failure to thrive. It was assisting, and they just would never take. They would always refuse the assist. Just really uncooperative snakes. And I lost 9. I had a lot going on in my personal life too at that time, and I lost 9 of those babies. So we established 5, and I sent him 3, and I kept 2. But of all those babies, nearly all of them are high white. Ryan Landis has one, and Aiden Bradley has one. They kind of show them off frequently, and they came out really good. So we're going to repeat that pairing. I'm going to run that back for 2026 with the Tundra Jewels and see if we can get those high whites again. And I think that, Tundra with Jewels, that just seems to be a pairing that really throws the whites. So again, it's just having the right male with the right female.
Are you able to look at the yellow Neos pretty fresh out of the egg and kind of have an idea, okay, this one's not leaving, I'm keeping this one? What are you looking for?
I look for the brown speckling, the pattern, the dorsal. I like to see a lot of heavy, big triangles, really wide, dark pattern. That animal was from a 2023 clutch, I think. And she's not currently here anymore, but it is a female, and she is gorgeous. Jared Flavhaven, I think, owns her. Her name is Typhoon.
Nice. Damn. So she turned out pretty nice.
She is, she's very blue. She's a very blue snake with some white, not crazy high white, but a very blue snake. So I look for, just really heavy pattern, a lot of dusting and speckling. But, I'm just guessing. I don't really know what's going to turn out white or high white. About 6 months old, you can start to see some of the white scales come in.
I was going to say, when does the white start really trickling in? About 6 months, huh?
It's about 6 months or so. Sometimes the green comes first. Sometimes the white comes first. The OCCs that you get where the white comes first are really beautiful. The snakes go into like a really pale yellow, and all that white really pops, and they almost look like they glow in the dust. Just kind of turn green in like 4 days. Sometimes they're yellow one day, and then 4 days later they're green snake. So you really can't tell. It's just kind of happens. I hatched some in October, and here we are in March. They're 5 months old. They're already turning green really quickly. Some pure aureus that are turning green really quickly. 5 months old.
So you've already had experience establishing before you got into the 9 that crashed on you. So I'm just curious, was there anything that you figured out? Like, was there anything that you realized, like, oh shit, like maybe I'll do this different next time? I mean, what was your assessment overall when it came to those 9 crashing? Was it just a fucked situation, you think?
It was a lot of variables, and I take full responsibility. I could have done more, should have done more, probably, to establish those animals and make sure that they thrived. And if I couldn't, I should have sent them to him right away, so that he could have the chance to do that himself. And it was winter during a lot of it, so shipping wasn't really possible. But yeah, I use pink heads. I know you guys are like Bill. He swears by the gizzards. I use pink heads, large pinks, and I cut them under the rib cage. So I'm doing like some half pinky assists, working them up into full pink assists if necessary. Luckily, that last clutch I didn't need to assist anything, and everything just took off and struck and was very defensive.
What's your technique with that? Because I mean, I just feel like it just turns into mush. Like, how do you cut underneath the rib cage and keep it all formed and going down?
Some paper towel, and it's a mess, man. It's a little bit of a mess. Yeah, you got to wash your hands in between each snake and everything like that. But yeah, it's a mess.
It's a mess.
It is. It is. I try and get some of those organs in there. Heart, lungs, liver. Sometimes you can get the stomach, which usually has a lot of milk from the mother mouse still in it, a little milk pouch, and you want to get that in the snake as well. Good nutrition. But assisting is hard, and I don't know why some need assisted and some don't. But when you got to do it, you got to do it, and it's tough.
How long do you like?
Go, I was just gonna say, when you've assist fed enough animals or a lot of animals, it's funny, you can kind of tell the ones that are going to make progress and the ones that are just
absolutely
not meant to be here.
Yep, absolutely. You can see the ones that are going to be accepting the assist easily. They don't fight it. And then you have the other ones that are doing everything they can to get that little pinky head out of its mouth, using the sides of the tub, using the perch, the water dish. They're just fighting, dropping. You 10 times you can put this thing in the snake's mouth, and it's just not going to eat. And so that's tough. It's tough when your animals are just, shrinking and shriveling, and you're doing the best you can. And it's just, like I said, I lost 9 Arus back to back. And I know Lupe was so upset. I was too. I mean, it sucked, but I'm glad we got through it, and I gave him some, and he sold them, and they're beautiful animals now. And I'm glad that Ryan Landis and Aiden Bradley have them in their collections, because that's, they show them off, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, as much as it sucks to have to go through that, it kind of makes you the chondro breeder you are when you're able to push through, get your next clutch, get those fucking things to eat, and say, all right, that wasn't it. That is the other 9 that fucking drove me up the wall. But man, you're right. Like, some of these fucking things, dude, like, you get it down far enough and somehow they spit it up, or they just do whatever they got to do.
That's the worst, man.
That's the worst.
You have to get it like halfway down, and they still spit it up.
You close the tub, you think you've got it locked in, you check back a half an hour later, and there it is on the ground, and you're like, damn it.
In the water bowl most of the time.
Yeah, in the water bowl, exactly. And then you go,
Well,
it's a mess.
Experiences like that does make, like, when you do have success and you do see a baby chondro eat, it's still like, even now for me, it's like the best.
So good. It's the best.
In the world,
Yeah, it's the best.
And it's because they don't all do it.
Yeah.
If they all just did it all the time, then you just it ate. It's a ball python. But the fact that they don't all do that makes it much more special when they do eat.
Yeah,
definitely.
But I'll tell you what, man, best advice I got from Bill last year is don't fuck around. Grab the fuckers by the neck. Fucking make them eat 4 times in a row. And for whatever reason, like before you even get to the 4th time, they usually start striking and they'll go after that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about that technique, Bill, but it caused so much non-stress for me to just like, all right, you're gonna assist feed these next 4 times. Don't even attempt to try to fucking beat these things.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, you see a different step in their attitude. You know what I mean?
It's less stress on you, and I think it's less stress on the animal to try to feed it and tease it week after week. And
It's just get the assist, get it in. I run like 2 pinky heads or 2 half pinks. You know, the second one is always easier too. If it takes the first one, you can run a second one right after, boom, to get that nutrition.
Yep.
Uh-oh. But yeah, doubling down, I feel like is crucial. I
think if you're going parts for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna boot this dude. He'll come right back. But yeah, you know what? I wasn't afraid of the whole like give him another one type of thing because you'll start to see that it has an effect. Like, because also too, like just giving them that one prey item sometimes just isn't enough. Like it doesn't do enough in their stomach. But doing back to back sometimes has a difference. And I noticed that by mistake. Not even one I was assist feeding, but I actually gave one 2 meals in 1 serving one time. Just moving too fast, and I'm like, I'm fucked. I remember I called Ryan. I'm like, Ryan, I gave this one an extra meal. He's like, it'll be fine. I was like, really? And sure enough, it was fine. You know,
I've done it too, and I've done it multiple times, but I have been burned one time by doing it and getting a prolapse out of it. But I think that's the rarity for sure. But yeah, I've done it. I've double dipped on accident.
Yeah. What about you, Marshall? You ever double dipped?
I have. Yeah. I mean, it worked out fine.
You know, I'll tell you how it happens to me most of the time is, so I'll give one a pink to eat. It'll do that strike, wrap, and then take its head off, right?
Yeah.
And I go, okay, well, I'm just going to offer it another one, and then I'll take the first one out after it eats. Well, I go back and check it out, and it's eating both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
Did you say it's still got the first one wrapped up? It hasn't swallowed it.
Yeah, and so I close the tub, and I'll go back to it in a few minutes, and I'll get that first one out that it struck, wrapped, took its head off. Well, I go back in there, and sure enough, it's eating both.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had a couple of my fucking holdbacks from last year that were only acting like they wanted to eat button quail. So what I did was I gave them a button quail, and you know how after they eat, they're acting like they'll eat anything after that again for whatever reason. And I'm like, oh, now you want an ASF? Here you go, and I'll fucking boom get that ASF in them. And it's like right when they actually swallow and taste that ASF, they usually stick with that. They don't vert back. Like they're cool with taking it again, from what I can tell. You know. Yeah. But yeah, you know,
that's one thing about them is that you can scent, and no matter what, I've never had one like get stuck on any particular chick scent or gizzards or whatever. You know, once they start eating, you can put anything in front of them and they'll take it.
I've had a couple that have kind of needed to be almost retransitioned. Like my go-to now is ASF pinks for everything.
Sorry about that, guys.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey,
do you have an Android?
I have an Android. Yeah, it's an Android, and it's on the charger. Nice. And that thing overheated, man. It shut down on me. I had to take it off the charger.
Marshall, nice. Yeah, real nice.
Sorry about that. That's embarrassing.
No, you're good. We've had way more embarrassing things than that. You're good.
I threw it in the freezer real quick, and I had to get it cooled down.
Hey, sometimes that works.
It worked. It worked. I'm right back.
Throw it in the freezer. I love it.
Yeah.
That's something else we should put on a shirt.
Yeah. Throw it in the freezer. No kidding. Oh my God.
and send it to PETA and have them be confused.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but yeah, going back to what we're talking about here, you know, where we were just saying how like giving them two is kind of on your side when it comes to getting them.
Absolutely. One is not going to be enough to sustain the neonate long term. If you're just doing one pinky head or like one little half pinky and you're trying to do like every 5 days, it's just not enough. You'll see that animal decline in front of your eyes. So you really have to do a lot more than that. You got to do 2 heads, 2, half pinks. Once you get to full pinks, you're okay. Once you're doing full pinks or large pinks, you're really in the clear. But in those are early stages, those first few weeks, first month or 2 months, it's really tough. Especially if they're not eating, if they're like problem feeders, trouble feeders, and every clutch is going to have some of those.
So what's been the best approach for you, Brian? Like, let's kind of scenario this. The snake sheds, or do you like offering pre-shed? I
don't. No, at first, my first few clutches, 2021, 22, I was offering pre-shed, but I've found that the animals that take pre-shed, they turn off and they go in the opposite direction after the shed.
Yep.
Yeah. So I stopped doing that. I just wait. I wait them out. I let them do that. They got to get all that yolk out of their system. They got to do a shed and a bowel movement and to get that out. And then I go in with, I go in hot with hot pinkies, hot water, thaw, and I coat them generously in chick down that I trim with an old beard trimmer and chick down, cover the pinky and a very aggressive teasing, smacking them in the face, in the snout, on their noses. Sometimes I'll even play like the pinky wants to eat the snake's tail. And that kind of gets them going. I'll bother the tail tip of the snake, and that they turn around and grab it, and I'm like, yes,
yeah, it's
there we go. Yeah, it is. Right.
Figure it out. Yeah, go eat, fucker.
yeah. I mean, those little mice, they can be vicious. I've heard some horror stories about people leaving live mice in with their snakes. I don't know if you guys heard those stories. Live mice, live rats. They leave them in. I've heard some horror stories.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the emeralds doing that because they're psychotic, and that's a bad day for the mouse. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, I've had great luck with live crested geckos.
You have.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that much last year, but even then, dude, I've seen the crested geckos jump on the actual neo and not bite it, but just jump on it. And they have like sticky little fucking paws or something, like little, I don't know what they have, but it's enough for them
the pads, the gecko pads,
It's enough for them to feel like they're getting attacked or something, and it fucking makes them just like go psychotic. You know what I mean? So that's a good technique of the tail. I didn't really
try and make them think that the pinky might try and bite their tail, and that's worked. I mean, the clutch was fantastic. My most recent clutch, I didn't have to do much. If I'm being honest, it was very light work on the most recent clutch, which I loved. It was just a really good incubation. We hit 15 out of 15. Everybody hatched around the same time. Everybody shed around the same time. All around, it was just really solid clutch. And, so we were able to get them delivered very quickly to the guys.
Brian, why don't you tell us about your incubation, your substrate, temps?
I do, the simple Socrates method. I've been kind of following his footsteps with the incubation ever since I started in 2021. And I incubate over water. And I do about 87.3 up until like day 41, 42. And then I'll drop that down to like 86.5 until I see pips. And I'm usually getting pips on day 52, 53. And, once they pip, 1, 2, 3 of them pip out, I'll go ahead and cut little triangles, little flaps in the rest of the eggs, just to make sure everybody's, got their snouts up and everything's good. And we'll let them come out on their own. And then, once they're out of the egg, I start, moving the moss in, which I stole from Patrick Holmes. I call it the Patrick Holmes method, where he uses that naturally antimicrobial sphagnum moss, and he sets his neos up on that. It's high humidity, holds moisture. I like that method. It's worked really well for me so far.
What about your ventilation in those egg boxes during that 50 days? I do run, I got the Sea Serpents incubator, the 2x2x2, the cube incubator from Sea Serpents. It's got the fan in it. So it's, it's rotating air inside the incubator. I do run one hole open at each end of the tub. And I cling wrap, my lids aren't sealed, tight fitting lids on my incubation tubs.
A lot of you guys use the sim containers that are a little bit more tight fitting. I don't use those, so I cling wrap, saran wrap the top of my tubs so that they are airtight. And then I have a hole on each end of the tub that I leave open throughout the entire process and let the eggs breathe. Once day 43 hits and those eggs start denting, I pull open more holes. I've got 3 holes on each end of the tub, and they're taped over, and I'll pull open the rest of the holes slowly. One at first, and then another one, and then another one. Day 43, 44, 45. By 48, all the holes are opened. And I'm not using cling wrap anymore. Day 49, they're heavily dented, and we're looking counting the hours before they hatch, checking on them 10 times a day.
Do you ever measure the humidity inside the egg box?
I got to be honest with you, I don't have a single hygrometer in my entire house. Not in my cages, not in my incubator. I don't measure humidity at all. I spray my animals pretty religiously, not the animals directly, but my enclosures I'll spray, and the puppy pads and substrate I'll spray. I do that about every morning. The adults a little less frequently. Every other day, every third day, the adults get sprayed. And but no, to answer your question, no, I don't measure humidity. I just kind of base it off the condensation. Okay. When you got the condensation on the cling wrap and on the lid of the tub, that's 100% up in there. And
yeah. Did you get 100% hatch rate on your last clutch, or how many?
Yeah, it was 15 out of 15. Yeah, we got 100% hatch rate on that clutch. 6 reds and 9 yellows, and we did the 3-way split, and I think those guys are pretty happy. They just opened their boxes this morning, and so hopefully they're getting into feeding them right now. They're hungry. I told these guys, I was like, the last meal was on February 27th. Yeah. You can feed them. They're hungry.
Feed them today.
Yeah, feed them today. Go for it. Try it. Let me know if they don't eat.
I know.
I was going to say, have you guys talked about the repeat? I mean, everybody on board?
Well, we're going. I'm doing the male, the sire. I'm not going to do it again with both those guys against each other and three-way split. No, I'm not. Not going to do that again.
I want you to get a piece of the pie. Like, I want you to fucking have.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, bro.
I got a male that David's male Jupiter, the red Cyclops, is lined up with a high white Aru female that I call Penelope. They're going to go in 2026, and then I'm going to do the repeat with Tundra and Jules, Lupe's female, which would be the repeat from our first time that produced the high white Neos that we ended up getting. So we're going to run that back again and see if we can get those high whites again out of that pairing, and hopefully that hits. And I'm looking forward to that one very much.
Holy shit, no wonder you don't fucking measure humidity. Check out the fucking this thing is humid.
Yeah.
That's the incubator.
That's the incubator. Yep.
Incubator, bro. Holy shit.
That's the incubator. There's two tubs of open water.
Open water pans at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yep. Open water at the bottom. Yep. And that's 2 clutches in the incubator, I think, right now. I had an Aru clutch and the Jupiter Jules clutch at the same time.
And I think that's on anyone's best fucking bet. Like, have the ambient humidity in the incubator be high,
Yep.
to where you don't have to worry about it. Because if that's
I'm dancing.
If the humidity's high, you don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what I know Sock used to slowly drop his temps down. Now I convinced him just to drop them all the way down. Do you slowly bring them down, like day by day?
No, when I'm like at day 42, 43, and I see them start to dent, that I start opening up air holes, and I drop the temps right away. The risk of having dead Neos in the egg from overheating is high, and I've not experienced that, but I've seen other people hatch clutches that 9 of them die in the egg, and they were fully formed, fully developed, perfect Neos, but they just overheated in those final days, and that's never something I want to experience.
Now you think that, but Bill went back to straight bake, and he had a fucking perfect. Didn't you go back to straight bake?
Listen, man, I've done it every which way to Sunday. I've lowered them slowly. I've lowered them like you did. Yeah. I haven't lowered them at all. I still get eggs. I still get snakes that crawl halfway out of the egg and die. Doesn't matter what I do. I'm back to straight bake. Maybe the last week, lower it a half a degree. That's it.
Yeah, it's not much. 1/2 degree is really all it is to compensate for the heat that their heartbeats are producing inside the egg.
What I am doing though is I'm opening that tub up every day.
Yeah, air them out.
You know,
Yeah, I do that.
like you said, opening up those ventilation holes, opening up the tub every day.
Yeah.
Make sure there's good air circulation. But yeah, I'm telling you, over the last 5 years, I've done every combination that you can imagine about managing temperatures in the last third of the incubation process, and I can tell no difference, no rhyme or reason. So
Yeah. I've noticed that cooler temperatures are going to bring you to day 54, day 55, even day 56.
Yeah.
You know, if you're running cooler temperatures, and maybe that's a bit safer. I'm not sure, but
Who knows?
yeah, if you're 87.5, that's too hot. I think you got to be 87.2, 87 straight is really good. 86.5 is okay. I think as long as you're hitting that window, you're going to be pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah, and but what's crazy is like as much as you say like, oh man, that's too hot. Like somebody out there has success doing that. It's so weird. Like everybody has some sort of method that just works for them. But like Bill said, nothing's perfect. I feel like no matter what's going good for you, you're gonna run into some shit at some point.
Yeah.
and
There's so many variables.
Yeah.
You know, when you say, we've talked about this before, when you say 87.5, unless you have a freaking scientific thermometer from the Pentagon, it could be 88.
The Pentagon.
Okay. I mean, it could be 88.5. You just think it's 87.5.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, these
I
things
use like 4 or 5 different thermometers to try and get a mean of the basic, and you do the best you can. And you're right though. Yeah, 0.5 degrees, 1 degree off. I mean, it's hard to say where you're actually sitting at, even with those govies, which never last. You put a govie in an incubator, that thing, the humidity cooks those govies.
Somebody I want to give props to is Gary, because I was one of those people who was fucking freaking out over a 0.2, 0.3 drop. I didn't give a fuck last year. I was like, you know what?
Send it.
Whatever's in the fucking range, I don't care. There was definitely differences on each level, but I was like, I don't care. I'm like, there's nothing I can do. This is the best, closest I could get it, and all of them hatched. So
fantastic. You had a killer. What are you, like 70 something babies last year, dude?
78.
Breakout year, dude. You've been
man.
grinding, dude. You've been grinding. Congratulations on that.
Thanks, man. But guess
Fantastic
what? It's over.
Year. It's over.
Here we are.
2026. Here we go.
Yeah.
all new year. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, no shit. Exactly. What have
Back
you done
to square one.
lately? Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, listen, I gotta ask. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's cut the commercial break, and then we're gonna talk about prolapses. Okay, are you cool with that?
Yeah.
All right, guys, sit tight. Message from my sponsors. We'll be right back. Thank you so much. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, brought to you by ZooMed.
ZooMed is proud to be supporting the Trap Talk Reptile Network. At ZooMed, reptiles are our passion. For over 48 years, we've been creating premium foods, supplies, and habitats for reptiles and other exotic animals. We're a company made up of hobbyists that test our products on the hundreds of animals that we care for here every single day. Whether you're an established breeder or a first-time hobbyist picking up your first ball python, ZooMed has you covered with everything you need to keep your animals happy and healthy.
I'm excited to talk about this new product with ZooMed called the Slither Sense. It is a remote temperature and humidifying monitoring system, which we all know how important temperature and humidity is to your reptile. And for you to have remote access to your temperature and your humidity in your reptile room could really, really be a game changer for the longevity of you keeping reptiles. So guys, make sure you check out that product. Find the link in the description below. Click on it right now. Give me your feedback in the comments below. Let me know how you're liking a brand new Zoo. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Mark Hager over at Texas Chondros. If you want to talk to somebody who likes to put people on the map, you have to go follow TX Chondros on Instagram. He has put on some of the biggest breeders out in Texas out on his platform on Instagram. Also displays some of his own amazing projects on his Instagram. You could also simply go to his website, see what pairings he has going on for this season, and also see his previous productions. Mark has been working with yellow neonates on top of red neonates, and his passion for this hobby is second to none. He's also mentored a lot of people like myself. So thank you so much, Mark Hager, for all your support. And if you guys really want to know how it is about building a community, then you got to go check out Texas Chondros. Thank you so much, Texas Chondros, for all your support. Cannot wait to see what you're all about in the 2026 breeding season. Tonight's episode is brought to you by David Brahms from the Reptile Perch. If you have an arboreal species, you definitely want to make sure you are using a David Brahms design perch over at the Reptile Perch. You can get any size perch you want for any size arboreal, anywhere from hatchlings all the way from adults. Everything you see behind me is on a David Brahms design PVC perch. So thank you so much to the Reptile Perch for doing everything that you've been doing with these awesome, affordable perches for people to take advantage of. And you can find David Brahms's website in the description below. Simply go to to www.reptilepurge.com or just go to Reptile Purge on Instagram. And you can also see many of David's awesome green tree python projects. He's also a highly successful green tree python breeder. Been looking up to for the last few years as well. So to have his support really means the world to me. Thank you so much, David Brahms over at the Reptile Purge. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats, the #1 PVC enclosure in the reptile industry, hands down. Everything you guys see behind me are 3x2x2 PVC design enclosures by Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. My entire room at this point, all Focus Cube Habitat enclosures, and that is for a real reason. My reptiles love them. I've had majority of these Focus Cube Habitats behind me for over 6 years now. So guys, if you're looking to expand your reptile room and get yourself some new enclosures, no better place to visit than Focus Cube Habitat. You head over to focuscubehabitats.com and see how many different design enclosures you could choose from. And you can also follow them on Instagram and stay updated with all current new enclosures on their YouTube channel. So thank you so much, Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. And I think I got new enclosures in the driveway, so I gotta go. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats, you are the best.
For over a decade, we've pursued a singular vision, producing the finest breeding stock the hobby has ever seen. From carefully planned pairings to thoughtfully designed environments, every detail is considered. And when you bring one of our animals home, you're not on your own. We provide lifetime husbandry support every step of the way. Whether you're building your first enclosure or expanding your collection, we're here for you. Sundown Reptiles.
Shout out to tonight's sponsor, and that's the one and only Morph Market and Morph Market Shipping. One of the biggest exciting things about the reptile hobby over the past couple years is Morph Market Shipping taking everything to the next level. Anything as far as reptile purchasing or selling needs can all be done on Morph Market's website. So I highly suggest you go check it out, especially if you're in the market of purchasing your first, second, or third, or fourth reptile. You can find a bunch of legitimate breeders on Morph Market's platforms. They stand very tall on representing the best breeders we have in the hobby. So don't look anywhere else when it comes to looking for your new reptile. Not to mention, if you're looking for aquatics or your next plant, Morph Market's a spot for you as well. Make sure you head over to morphmarket.com. And the best thing about Morph Market's platform, you could ship directly from their website with Morph Market Shipping. Morph Market Shipping has saved this hobby billions of dollars as a whole. I myself saved thousands with Morph Market Shipping last year due to their insanely cheap rates. So definitely go take advantage of these rates on top of the amazing customer service that comes along with Morph Market Shipping. Shout out to Darian and Zach, and shout out to the entire Morph Market team. So proud to be a part of this team. Thank you so much for Morph Market Shipping and Morph Market, and so excited to announce new Morph Market features that are going to be hitting the reptile hobby real soon, like live sales on Morph Market. Thank you so much, Morph Market and Morph Market Shipping. It's that next one after that, man, prolapses. And I don't know what prolapses have been in your experience, Brian. I can't remember, but can we get to where you've been at with prolapses?
I've had prolapses before, and I mean,
it's terrible.
I'll keep it real with you, man. A prolapse is like a death sentence. You can't sell that animal. That animal is going to be on the struggle bus for probably the rest of its life. Once it prolapses, it's a done deal. I don't care what anybody says.
Okay, so what if it's a snake you have on hold for somebody that you got? Obviously, you got to let that know it prolapse.
100%. Yeah, you have to let them know. You have to make sure that you have a replacement animal available for that person, or you're sending them their money back. I mean, one of those two things is going to happen. Once a snake prolapses, I've lost a few that have prolapsed, and I've spent 6 months, even over a year, trying to work that animal. They always end up prolapsing again. It's just never right. And a snake like that could ruin your reputation. You can't let that out into the world.
Oh, 100%.
You can't let that out. So it just is what it is. And that happens.
I've never had fucking luck getting them to bounce back. Anytime I see a prolapse, in my experience, and now
you already know. It's awful. It's so sad.
If it's one I don't want to let go of, I will pull a Mark Hager and fucking put that thing back in 20 times. I think if
you gotta try. You gotta try.
That's had the one that survived after
Captain Prolapse.
Captain Prolapse.
Captain Prolapse. 20 prolapses.
Yeah, I've had one out of maybe 10 or a dozen Neos. I've had one that has survived and not prolapsed. It prolapsed one time, 2 times. And then it's back on food and it's doing well, and only one out of a dozen. So Yeah, and I got to keep that snake. I can't ever let that snake go because it's just gonna, I'm not gonna pass the problem off to somebody else and then let them talk shit about me behind my back.
I mean, unless you tell, I mean, I know people where I'm like, yo, you want this snake, and and if
if it's a gift and they know, if they know it's a transparent and they want to do the work themselves, that's a whole different scenario. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, but Bill, you've had success, with one-off prolapses going back in, and then they never come back. Or can you remind me, Bill, what your overall success has been with prolapses?
Yeah, I mean, I have a little softer approach than Brian on prolapses. I've had multiple animals that have had small prolapses once, and that has gone on to recover absolutely, completely fine. But I will say, I've never had an animal that's prolapsed twice and that has survived.
Yeah, twice. Yeah,
but I've had multiple animals that have had prolapses,
and it's a slow burn on those too. Like when they wither away slowly. You try and assist them, you try and feed them, they prolapse again and again and again, and it's real brutal.
Yeah, those animals are destined to go to freezer camp. But
you have no shame in it. Just throw them in the freezer. We need to get you that T-shirt.
Can't freezer.
Listen, they prolapse twice. They're going in the freezer. But well, Marshall taught me something about animals that have prolapsed, that there's no rush to get that perch back in.
Yes.
When an animal prolapses for me, now I'll give it a 3-week fasting, and then I'll eat it. But that perch won't go back in for 3 months.
Yeah, they're just on the ground. Do you saturate your substrate?
Well, it's on the ground with a saturated substrate, but I do give it a basking. So instead of perching, it's basking on top.
Yeah.
And so what I typically do is take an 8-ounce deli cup that I usually use for water, and I import it, turn it upside down, and they will bask on that for months. Yeah. And then they'll get that perch in.
You guys use the sugar paste. It's like you mix the sugar and water real thick and use the paste to kind of shrink the swelling on those prolapses to help get them back in.
I've used the grainy raw. I use the straight raw sugar.
I do too. I get it real wet and then just take a little plastic spoon and just sugar on top.
I've used that too. And I mean, the one that I have currently that prolapsed and is doing really well now, and it's not prolapsed again, and it's eating full meals by itself on its own. So everything looks promising. That was the snake that I used the sugar water, the sugar paste on the prolapse. And like you said, Bill, it didn't eat for 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks before, total fasting, no perch, had it on the ground. And I really think the perching, the way they sit on the perch, has a lot to do with preventing the healing of a prolapse situation. So if you have a prolapse situation, I think taking out the perch is 100% necessary.
How about this prolapse survivor? Woof. Yeah, you gotta love it.
Thank God.
Thank God.
That thing didn't see a perch for like 6 months.
I saw that snake today. It looks gorgeous, Marshall. Congratulations.
Thank you.
No freezer camp for that bad boy.
No way. You got to do everything you can for that snake.
This thing's getting cremated if it ever dies at this point. We're not bro. We're putting this thing
taxidermied.
Taxidermied. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I saw that post today. The thing is looking amazing. I can't wait to see it in like a year when it's all done with OCC, man.
Hey, imagine a real poorly jobbed taxidermy on this snake. I've seen some terrible jobs out there, like ones with fake glued eyes and shit. So I can imagine putting fake glued eyes on this thing. No, okay, but Marshall, real quick, do we even know the sex of this snake yet? No, I'm assuming we don't.
I think it's female because it should have shed plugs by now, but I've not seen.
You can tell by those bowel movements.
It's very, very seldom. I have to work it to make it shit.
Well, let's get to that. What do you mean by the bowel movements? So what do you mean by that, Brian?
I've noticed that when you're raising up animals, you can kind of tell. Now I'm not going to swear by this or say it's 100% a certain way to tell the sex of this, but males are often going to hold their bowel movements a lot longer than the males were. The males are burning and turning their urates and their bowel movements and their sheds too, and they'll often combine the shed with the bowel movement Females won't do that. You'll see them holding the bowel movements longer. Sometimes they'll shed and they won't shit with the shed like the males will. So things like that, just data across time when you're raising an animal up, for a year, 2 years, you can start to tell. I've never probed a green tree python in my life. I refuse to absolutely to do it completely. I will not probe animals. But you can tell when you got a female and when you got a male. After you're 2 years old, you can definitely tell.
I have no Alex Warren, so that's why I don't probe. I just don't have the fucking extra hands. Bill, you
right? It's definitely a 2-man job. It's dangerous and delicate for sure, especially on the young ones, like 100 grams, pre-100 grams, very delicate.
You have a good system going with that, right, Bill? Like you and Alex, you guys have a certain time where you are comfortable probing and it's been fine?
Yeah, I mean, and you don't even need an experienced second hand. I mean, before I had Alex, I had my wife, Kim, would help me probe. Just all she had to do was hold the animal's tail straight. I agree. Patrick is comfortable probing animals younger and smaller than I am. But
there's a lot of skill involved.
I don't know how he does it, dude. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, you probe 1,000 ball pythons, and that kind of gets you in the skill level of being able to probe a chondro. It does take some practice, and I agree with Brian. I like to wait for them to be a little bit bigger, a little bit older. The bottom line is I probe an animal when it's going to change something. So
exactly when you need to know.
Yeah, when I need to know.
You guys want to know what I have right here?
Let's see.
I can't, but I'll tell you what is written on this post-it could be something that we never have to worry about probing ever again. That's all I'm going to give you.
Oh, okay. You got rare genetics in the house.
You got it. You got to sign on Thursday night with me and Bill and our special guest. Okay. You'll see what we're talking about. So,
all right. Tap in. Have to tap into that one.
But what is the game changing with that, guys? Like being able to know the sex of a Neo pretty young. Well, I mean, how do you think that's going to change the game, Bill, Marshall?
Well, I know because for 3 years it was an option.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys had the options, and it was pretty reliable too, as far as I understand. Right.
It was 100%, at least in my experience. They were 100% right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that it's going to be a situation where people are going to hold back all their females, their best male one, and probably hold back a lot of their females and let extra males go, stuff like that. That's what's going to be happening. So it will probably affect the market and the availability a little bit when that drops.
Will there be big price differences between male and female, you guys think, if that's the case?
Guaranteed female?
I think,
pay a little bit more.
I think females are going to be worth more unless the male is just really, really nice,
Crazy designers.
It's very reminiscent of the ball python stuff. Like when a brand new morph becomes available, the males are worth more than the females, but 3 years later, it's the opposite. Mm-hmm. I think, a very potent, high-end designer male is going to bring more than a female out of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stud male is a stud male, man.
Well, because even in the ball python game, you had people like pissed off that they didn't get any males. Like they want males, because males get the job done a lot quicker, and so
quicker, and they're less likely to die when you breed them.
100%. Well said, Bill. I lost a female this year. That blue female in the picture of the background that you had posted up, MJ.
Yeah, Gem, right? Was her name Gem?
Yeah, her name was Gem, and she was an older girl, and it was her third clutch, and I was pushing it. And you lose females. It can happen. And so I think that, females are going to hold value unless, like you said, it's a spectacular male that we're talking about. Females are going to be highly valuable.
They can't breed every year. Most of the time, you got to give them a year off. A male, you can breed as long as
3 times.
You can breed them every
12
months out of the year. Yeah,
absolutely. Multiple females. All time of the year, every year. I mean, they're very, very valuable.
Yeah, very good. A good male is so valuable. 100%. I agree with you.
Brian said you have to have more females than males in your collection, so that's automatically going to make them more valuable across the board. Yeah,
and the time it takes them to become, sexually available, 5 years, 6 years. So, a male can be ready in 2.5 or 3.
Yep.
It's twice the amount of time for that female. So yeah, you're really going to want to stack females up, like 4 to 1. And if you can know with the shed testing, that would be amazing. That's amazing technology.
All right, we have somebody in the chat, so we're gonna keep it pure locality right now, okay? Because we don't want.
Oh gosh, Ryan. Much respect, Ryan.
No, but with your female gem, did she give you any signs that she was crashing, or was it just kind of like an overnight thing? Like, how did
it was she had complications in her second clutch. She retained some eggs, and I got them out, and it was okay, and she survived on antibiotic shots and vet trip and a prolapse and a whole entire lost oviduct. So the snake only had one oviduct, and I paired her anyway. So that shit's on me. And
what a beautiful snake to even have, though, man. Like, to have
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she was. I had her since 2006. She was amazing animal.
2006? You had this since 2006?
Yeah, she pretty much cultivated my entire love for green tree pythons and the hobby, and I first bred her in 2021. But yeah, I kept her as a pet mostly for 20 years, and then I lost her because I pushed her too hard. I was greedy.
I mean, I don't think it was like on purpose, obviously.
Well, I can take responsibility for my misfortunes. I fucked that up for sure.
Yeah, but man, 20 plus years, man. So when you got this snake in 06, was it a baby, or was it already?
It was post color change. Wow. And I've told this story a bunch of times, and I feel bad even saying it because I can't prove it. But I got her from Greg Maxwell at the Columbus, Ohio Reptile Show.
Whoa!
And we named her Gem because her ID was GM, and we were just like, I'm going to call her Gem.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking badass.
So yeah, and then $250, man, $250 in those days.
Nice.
It was and he met us up there at the reptile show, and he brought this chondro, and I was a kid with some cash, and I got her as a pet, and she traveled with me for 20 years. It was amazing. It was an amazing journey.
Greg Maxwell reminds me of one of those WWF superstars that were big before people were really getting paid.
The Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Yeah, well, he got paid, but I'm talking like like the Butcher, and shit like that, like those kind of guys that just.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend. I mean?
I love Greg, man. Greg's gonna be at Trap Fest. Very excited to announce he'll be
Trap Fest.
It's gonna be fucking epic. But dude, that's a cool story, man. To say that you got that from Greg.
Yeah, I mean, like I had note cards when I got her, but I was 20 years old or 21 years old at that time. I didn't keep that stuff, and I didn't even know who Greg Maxwell was at that time. I didn't know who he was. He was just a chondro breeder that lived in Ohio, that was close to the Columbus, Ohio reptile show. So, and I was there asking for green tree pythons, and somebody knew him and called him, and we waited about an hour, and he came up and he brought that snake to us. Me and my buddy at the time, we were there together. And
it's interesting to think that females, can live that long until you start breeding them. And then as soon as you start breeding them, that's when they start
as Bill says, I always remember this quote from Bill: the fastest way to kill your chondro is to try and breed your chondros. That's the best and fastest way to kill them. Yeah. It really, and actually, it's just,
sure. Yeah.
It's really true. Yeah. 2021, I bred her once. 2022, she had a repeat clutch, and she retained 6 eggs. And in 2025, I tried her again and lost her. And
what did you do with the retained eggs? Did they come out eventually, or what happened with
them? They came out and they crashed. Like, we lost the oviduct. So the oviduct and the eggs came out together. Socrates has showed a video of that before.
Okay, you remember that?
Yeah. I had to do the work. I had to snip it. I tried to salvage them, but they got wet, right? They got wet. They had stuff on them. Blood. No, they crashed. They crashed within a week. Yeah, there was no way those were going to survive 50 days in the incubator at those temperatures, bacteria and stuff.
I think that's the biggest fucking blow to the nuts is when they're fucking. I mean, I had my Vinsky Blue Line girl had 15 stuck that I had to basically get pushed out of her, and she had the oviduct twisting too. But again, the eggs look like they would have been perfectly fine if they would have been laid correctly. But there was blood on them. There were wets.
Yeah.
And then she died. She died in my hand. So not only did all 15 of the eggs fucking go to shit after 2 days, but
you lose your girl too. Yeah,
that's the worst.
I cried, man. I freaking cried my eyes out, dude, when it happened. I swear to God.
I didn't cry. The emeralds already sucked all the fucking.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I literally have no more ounce of a tear in me when it comes to snake dying because of the emeralds fucking took everything out of me.
Hopefully I can get myself into the emerald game soon, dude. I got a trio, 1.2, really nice. My females are growing up. I'm gonna be busting in there in the next couple years. Watch out for me.
Fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, man, it's just, so many blows we could take in this game before we actually get a taste of the glory, man. But
yeah,
we keep moving, dude.
Got to keep it moving. That's why you got to love it. You got to love it. You ain't ever gonna make it if you don't.
Yeah, dude. And that's why, no disrespect, but with the amount of people I see and I know personally coming in, I just don't see them having it in them to deal with a loss like that, because they're coming from the ball python game where it's all fucking peach cream, dude.
Yeah. You could lose 9 neos in a female, and that'll take you out. You can lose, you say you got a joint pairing with somebody, and you lose somebody else's animal, that can take you out. You know, you have a bad clutch. You miss a year, then you're out. It's so touchy, man. It's hard. It's very hard, and that's why these chondros hold the prestige that they do. I think is because it's not always freaking easy.
Yeah. Well, you guys gotta remember, they're always watching. The chondro gods are always
watching.
Patrick and Brian Fisher always remind me, like, dude, you're gonna fucking get owned, and I'm like, I know, but I'm still gonna put my mouth and take my lickings, But at the end of the day, dude, there's always something that humbles you in the chondro game, dude. No matter what.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yep.
No matter how many years you've been doing it, you can. Yeah, you have a. You turn around and you're getting smacked up on the next clutch for sure.
I try to be.
It keeps happening. Like the longer you do it, the more times it happens.
Yeah.
You'd be the opposite. You think it'd be less. Like your experience would carry you through, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. I agree. It does. It just doesn't. There's always something that going down. There's so many variables to try and manipulate and control, and you really just got to let Mother Nature do its thing with these things.
Well, Marshall makes being jaded seem cool, and it's really not. It's actually hard, and it sucks. And I realized, wow, trying to be Marshall like this is not an easy task. Like, it's fucking no wonder he is how he is.
Years of losses and tribulations will get you there. The skin of stone over here.
Yeah. But with your current projects right now, what's on the agenda? Like, what's something super important for you
I've got 5 females ready to go that are going to go this year in 2026. That clutch that I just hatched, that's kind of the tail end of 2025. So though they hatched in 26, I'm not really counting them.
So your stuff goes later in the year.
Yeah, I use my air conditioner and I kind of go off season of everyone else. And so I'll be pairing in like.
Where are you? What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Ohio. So it's cold right now. I'm running my furnace right now. All of my snakes. We are just starting food cycling and stuff like that right now. I'm getting my females heavy. I'm starting to drop my males. My females are going to be dropping temps, night drops very soon. And I'll be pairing April, May, and I'll be looking towards having clutches around September, October. That's kind of what I shoot. That's kind of what I shoot for. Like I call them the Halloween clutches. So like around Halloween, Thanksgiving, that's usually when I have eggs being laid, because I'm using my air conditioner to help me cool my animals midsummer. I'm running the AC, and then I use that to help me cool my males and my females. So right now we're doing 5 pairings. We're gonna have I'm looking at snakes up on the top of here. We're gonna have some gem babies that are going to be of age, and they're going to go, a male and a female, a holdbacks from the first clutch. We have the Gary Schiavano red Tamika Aru that's going to be in the lineup this year. He's a male. He's going to be in the lineup this year, so hopefully I'll have some more reds. We got I got one of those from Gary. Those are all amazing too. You have one too, right, MJ?
I remember those.
The Tamika Auras came out. Yeah, those are great snakes.
Do you remember Gary getting yelled at saying, "Who's TR?"
Yeah. The TRR. Yeah, those they came from. I can't remember who they came from. I don't want to throw out the wrong name here, but
The Kristen and
Fascination Herp, right? Yeah. They had that Tamika male, and he did 2 pairings with 2 different Aru females. So there was Tamika Auras from 2023 and Tamika Auras from 2024, and they all those siblings and half siblings look amazing.
So yours is a female or a male? I'm sorry.
Mine's a male. Mine's a male.
He's ready, bro.
Yeah, so he's of age. He's going to be getting into the lineup this year. So hopefully I can have some more red Aru babies, 75% Aru babies. If we're lucky, 75% red Arus will be cool. Yeah. And I'll try and chase down Sean Beck a little bit. And we got some high white Aru pairings with Lupe, Tundra Jewels, and we're going to run the David Feinberg Cyclops. Poor Aru's getting hybridized. I'm sorry. We're still going to have pure Arus, Ryan. We're still going to have pure Arus. I promise.
Yeah, just saving one RA female to do pure, man.
Yeah, we got to keep the pure. I mean, I love Arus. I love whites, and I honestly, I got to admit, the emeralds are where my passion really is, and why I got into these snakes was because of the emeralds, because of Ed Marino, because of the white. So it was just only natural that I'd jump into the Aru and started selecting high white Arus. Because I just love the white, that green and white, that high contrast. It's just a beautiful snake, man.
It makes sense.
Just gorgeous. And, so I got a long way to go with my emerald game, but my Aru game is, we're getting there with the Aru game for sure. Ryan's shaking in his boots over there. I know it.
No, man, you're totally right. Because emeralds is my jam, but man, these high white Arus really give me those Ed Marino vibes.
Yeah, and I think with a bit of work and dedication, maybe a couple generations, 10 years, 20 years, we could be really producing some amazing high white Arus that are reminiscent of the Ed Marino emeralds that really just make your jaw drop to the floor.
I think though, okay, if we somehow get to the point where we're getting like snowflake type fucking Arus, like to the point where we know you can't find these in the wild, is Ryan going to pursue that project? Because now
he was. I thought. I mean, I think he was. Yeah.
Though, right? Like, okay, now you were able to captive bred something or breed something in captivity to make it look like something you can't get in the wild. Why not just go designer, dude? Why not?
But what if it takes a little bit of Cyclops in the mix? What if it's 80% or
a little bit of Tamika?
Sprinkle,
a little bit of Tamika, a little bit of Cyclops. I like the look of the red babies that are coming out of the Arus. I think that's just so cool. So that's a side project. I mean, and I'm going to pursue that too. But I'm always going to be doing the high white Arus. And like I said, we got. He puked a little. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
That's White Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure every On the Tree Tuesday, Ryan loses about 3-4 pounds from puking.
Yeah.
So he's fine.
I look up to Ryan a lot in his Aru project, and when I heard him tell a story about how he let go of his Kofiaus and all of his animals, and he focused solely on Aru. And I was really inspired by that. And I did a similar thing where I did have some designer animals and some really nice animals early on in my collection. And I let them all go just because it just wasn't for me. It's not the direction I want to go with it. I want to go my own direction, make my own designer line, if you will, if you want to call it that, I guess, the red Arus and go that direction. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. No disrespect to Ryan. I love you, brother.
Yeah, he's good, bro. Trust me. He gets enough props everywhere else. So just
I mean, he's what has he got? Like fucking so many species of pythons under his belt. I mean, he's an absolute legend. I've only bred 2.5 because one of them was a hybrid. So well, I got a long way to go.
Hey, I want to go back to something. Obviously you're telling me you're prepping food cycle wise right now, and I'm curious. Approaches. What type of food cycling do you do? Are you rats, mice? Like what?
I like mice for when I'm getting females ready. I like the jumbo mice, the colossal mice. The biggest mice I can get. Yeah.
For your females though, right? Your males don't eat the big mice.
No, my males will stay, every 2.5, every 3 weeks. I'll offer them meal. We do like small rats or something. But I like the colossal mice for my females when I'm food cycling, and I'll do those like every 6-7 days on the females.
Oh, got you. Okay,
I'm hitting them. Yeah, I hit them hard. I hit them fast, often, and I try and get that weight back up. You should see Jules right now. She just, her clutch just hatched in January 6th, but she's so ready. Like, she looks ready to pair right now. She's so thick.
So, Brian, you're feeding like that for how long before pairing? Like, how often are you doing the 7-day feed?
About 2 months. We're going to keep it going for about 2 months total. And I'm doing the temp drops, the night drops in with that at the same time. And like I said, about late.
Will you do a fast also after all this pumping them up, pumping them up? Or you
I probably won't. I'll probably just initially try and do all the pairings that I want to do with the males that I want to do them with, and just see what happens. And whatever takes off the rip, we'll take. And if not, we'll just rinse and repeat. A little bit more cooling. Maybe then we'll do the fasting. Maybe then we'll keep going with the food cycling. We just kind of it's touch and go. We might have to swap in different males. We might have to, the initial plan is never how it always works out. And that's proven in my last year. I pissed those guys off, but they were upset, and they have every right to be. Lupe and David, but we got some reds, we got some yellows. It's cool. I can't
see Lupe mad. He's such a sweet guy. I
mean, Lupe is just an awesome dude. I can't wait to meet him. I'm trying to come down, Bill, in September, and Lupe is going to pick me up from the airport. He said so. He said he would.
Dude, I hope you do. Well, that's another thing. I know we're getting towards the end of the podcast, but the Dallas show is done.
Yeah,
it's over.
It's over. They're not going to do it.
Bill, let's throw our own show.
I mean.
Well, listen, we can still have the party, but I'm not running no damn show.
You plant a seed, it'll grow, man. If you build it, they will come.
Okay, I organize it, but you just sit in the middle in this big chair. Okay, chair. We'll call it the Mayor Expo, Reptile Expo.
I think something will take.
So they just hung it up all together.
It's done.
RBC Dallas.
They shut that building down. They're tearing it down.
Yeah, they're tearing the building down. There is no more shows going to be there. Now, they said they're going to try to find a different venue, but I don't believe it. I think they're really contracting to the, 2 venues they have left?
No more Schaumburg either. So they're just doing Tinley? And they're doing Tinley, and they're doing
Daytona.
St. Louis.
No.
Daytona is thrown by another
okay.
Another branch. But that's only shows now.
I bet somebody comes in, whether it's Herps or some other vendor comes in and takes over the Dallas.
It has to. Texas.
Look out for MORPHMARKET coming through.
Maybe MORPHMARKET will start doing expos. But
I don't think so.
Regardless, the party will still happen here.
Why did it ever leave Arlington?
Because
they sold the Arlington Convention Center.
Oh,
sold it at some, I don't even know what it is now. But
I'm sorry, but
because it didn't have the restrictions, right? Like
nothing. Arlington was the best. Dude.
It was everything. It was everything except venomous. They couldn't do venomous.
Yeah.
But that hotel, that Arlington hotel, was fucking nice. Like
right across the street. I mean,
the Schaumburg hotel is really nice too. I can't believe they're not doing that though.
But Schaumburg's that show never really did well. Like, and nobody really.
Yeah, it's like right there by Tinley too.
And I think the time of the year just never worked out. I just feel like there's too many fucking shows. Period. Like, there's been way too many reptile shows for people to really save up for that one big one. People really do it for Tinley, but even in Texas, like I remember last Dallas, there was a show a week before that people went to, and it was like, God damn, like these shows are just coming and coming and coming now. So,
lots of small shows.
Yeah,
every weekend. Yeah,
every weekend.
Yeah, but you have these vendors that are fucking almost hitting all these shows. I don't know how they do it, but I'm like, God dang, like I just see people getting burnt out. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah,
vending has got to be a lot of work. I've never done it myself, but that's got to be a ton of work, man.
It's exhausting.
Yeah,
it's tiring. And that's why Trap Fest is not on the same week of Reptile Super Show, because I will never do Trap Fest and a Reptile Super Show ever again. That's
I don't
fucking
see how you did that, man. I don't see how you did it.
It's suicide. It's a lot of work. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I do wish there is a show where we can rely on some chondro breeders being there. I know it's not really ideal talking to anyone you talk to, but god damn it, Marshall was a part of that era at one point. What year was that again, Marshall, when you guys would all link up and vend?
Man,
We did it for a couple years in a row. It was like mid 2000s, probably mid to 2010 maybe was the last time we did it.
And how'd you guys do at a show like that? If you could remember, like sales wise, did you all you guys?
I always did fairly. Yeah, everybody usually did pretty well. Yeah.
Damn. For you, Brian, you know, has there been anything else out there that you're trying to bring into your collection? Like, is there a certain project out there, or like certain?
I watch a lot of people closely, and I mentioned Sean Beck. I watch a lot of people closely. I'd love to do some business with Sean Beck. I almost did some business with Sean Beck and got some 50% red R's from him, but the deal fell through, partly because of me, mostly all because of me. But yeah, I like, you know, and there isn't really anybody else breeding pure Aru. It's just like me and Ryan Young. Like who else?
Brian Fisher.
Brian Fisher, right? Yeah. And so
I will say right now, even though he's one of my most stuck up friends I have, he's fucking his Arus are no
they're
joke.
great. Yeah, they're great. There's just so I mean, those are like, if I was going to add animals, it would be those kinds of animals. Sean Beck, Brian Fisher, Ryan Young. It would have to be like those types of things. It has to be like pure Aru or red Neo half Aru. Shout out to Sam Pendleton. He just had a clutch of Manakwari Arus, and he's got some reds. I'm drooling over those.
Yeah, you gotta get that Sam guy on. Like, you just
he's good peoples, man. Good people. Sam is.
I've heard good things. Sure. And I just want to say real quick, Brian's not stuck up. He's just like very jaded, like fucking Marshall. Good news. If you have really good news and you feel good about it, you take it to Brian, it's gonna get shot down. That's what I meant.
Hey, you got nothing wrong with a guy to keep it real with you. You know what I mean? You need that.
You need friends that keep you accountable and keep you in check. I like
100%, 100%. That's the great thing about this hobby, dude. I've made so many good friends. Just like I have better friends online and in this community than I have in real life, and that's awesome, man. I love the chondro community. It's great.
It's so true, man. Like I think because now I have a second kid, I don't really hang out with too many people nowadays. But when I do, it's so boring. Like if we're not talking snakes,
it's like what are you doing with all your off time? You're taking care of your snakes.
Yeah, dude. Like it's
so that's like all you. That's all I do too.
Yeah, but this kind of consumes your life so crazy where you're just like you feel lost if you're not able to like talk snakes like how we're talking. This is why. Going to a party like Trap Fest or Bill's place it's like Disneyland. It's so awesome.
Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's ready to. Yeah, man.
It's the best.
I need to get down.
Yeah,
gotta come.
Can't wait to just jump in Bill's pool again. That's where you find me all the time, dude. And who's gonna get the Gurney Championship belt this year?
It's wide open. It is wide open. Maybe Brian.
Maybe.
Brian, oh, dude, you don't want the Gurney belt,
you don't want me to come up in there. I'll steal the whole show, man.
Holy
I
shit.
love it. I love it.
So, okay, again, though, you know, I know primarily what you have going on in your collection, but like your biggest goal is to always have Aru in the mix in majority of your stuff. I'm assuming like that's
I want to highway Aru and always produce Aru. I'm gonna try and produce Aru every year, pure Aru every year.
Let's talk about the yellow Neo market and how you feel about it, because we kind of discussed a little bit, and I just feel like people don't see the value in yellows as they should, because how much crazy the red stuff is. But how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like that's going to change little by little over time?
I don't see it getting like fantastic. I mean, if we're talking about yellow Neo outcross, locality outcross animals, you know, that's kind of, you know, that's where you're going to start from, right? That's where people are going to start from, I think, new breeders. And those are where your cheapest captive bred animals are going to be at. If you're looking to, as a buyer, I think you're going to be looking at locality cross yellow Neos. You know, the market is pretty it's a buyer's market right now. It's definitely not a seller's market for sure.
Especially for the locality stuff. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Pure Aru, as much as I don't like it, I mean, the yellow Neos just kind of all fall into the same category.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not doing super well with, you know, selling a bunch of yellows. That doesn't really do me any good. It's a lot of work. It's real hard, and especially the Arus, the struggle feeders. It's a ton of work to get an Aru established. Actually, most of the time, for me, it is. It's a lot of work. So, you know, then when people start hitting me with, you know, $700, $800 offers, I'm like, you're not on the same page. We're not on the same page. We're not going to be able to make a deal. I'm sorry.
And what's crazy, they're doing that because they're comparing off another yellow they see on MORPHMARKET or
Biak. Yeah, they're comparing to a Biak, an imported Biak. Yeah, they're comparing to an imported Biak, and so, you know, and the imports are coming in. You know, a lot of Biaks. There's still a lot of Arus coming in. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming in. I think still. Yeah, it's just kind of coming in under the radar a little bit, but there's still plenty coming in.
What's well, hold on. I'm gonna ask you, Bill, because Bill obviously likes to update on his page like stuff that he lets go of, and yeah, you've let go with tons of fucking bangers, Bill. But how many yellows have you sold that you've gotten updates with that turned out pretty insane also, Bill?
Listen, I've only ever really produced yellows from one pairing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the flu, you know, I breed it to a Manicory female. What
about Jaeger Clover though, right? Jaeger Clover had yellows, no?
Yeah, that's true. Yep. That's been several years since they produced, obviously. But I've got you know, well priced on those yellows.
Right. You got to be.
Certainly not $1,000. You know, they sell for more than that.
Yeah. But again, nowhere near your red prices though. Like they're like a lot lower than
they're half the price or
more.
I can't speak on reds. I've never sold any yet. I'm trying to climb into that level of the game, but I'm getting there. But yellows, yeah. I mean, I'm getting. I hate to like talk numbers in public and stuff, but I'm getting like $1,000 for an Aru. That's about what I'm getting, shipping included. So, you know, it's definitely a buyer's market right now where, you know, people can grab really nice yellows, pure or locality crosses, and they can get them captive bred, United States captive bred at a good price.
And from a good source.
And from a good source. Thank you.
Probably the most important of the three.
Yeah. And so, you know, and I don't know if that's bad for the market or good for the market. Certainly, I think time will tell. I think it's okay. I'm not mad about it or anything. It is what it is. It's definitely going to weed out the people who are only doing it for the money, and the people who are doing it out of the passion. So,
my question, next topic for you, Brian. How much do you nido test? How important is that to you, even within a well-established collection that's been in your hands for a while?
I will always nido test an animal upon request when I'm selling an animal. If a customer wants a nido test and they're willing to pay for it, there is no reason why I'm going to deny that person 100%. What they want. So I always do that for people if they ask for it. As far as my collection goes, I don't really do a lot of nido testing regularly. My collection's pretty closed. I haven't added a new animal in like 2 years, except what I've produced myself. So.
Yeah. And I ask that because, you know, again, I appreciate everyone's excitement of wanting to have biosecurity, but nido testing your collection that you've had for years, every year, I just don't see the point.
I don't need to pay $1,000 for a bunch of nido tests just to know that they're all negative.
It's stressing too until the results come back, and it's just like I don't really know. And then also, like, I have Dr. Tillis coming back on the show, but holy fuck, dude, the way he broke shit down, where like, what's a nido test even good for? Like, some of it's, don't get me wrong, like, you might get a test back that's going to tell you some of the results, but some of this shit isn't even really being tested for, as far as like what level of nido that there is, which there's so many different kinds of nido out there. So I'm just like, I've
tested my snakes a couple times through the years, and I've only had one positive test ever. One positive test ever come back, and the animal is no longer here. And so I feel pretty good. I feel pretty safe. My animals are all healthy. I look at them and tend to them every single day. You're going to see those symptoms. If your animal has NITO, you're going to see those symptoms. You're going to see the bubbling, the nose, you're going to see the bubbles in the mouth. You're going to see that stuff. I mean, and if you're not seeing that, then you're just not paying attention to your snake.
Yeah.
Plus, if you've got a closed collection and you don't have it, then you never get it.
I'm not adding animals these days anymore. I'm very select about what I'm even willing to purchase, because it's got to fit my collection and fit my my path and my narrative, or otherwise I'm just I'm not getting into designers. I'm not trying to branch out into high yellows. I'm not doing other stuff. I just want my Aru and I do my little Aru red designer line thing, making Ryan roll over into the grave.
So with that being said, again, I still get people inquiring about should I buy this import or whatever, and to each their own. But with your experience, what's the best way somebody should shop for an import if they are going to go that route? Like if that's something they're set on.
I think if you're buying your first chondro, definitely don't buy an import at all. I think that you're going to have a bad experience. If you're not prepared, you're going to have a bad experience, because almost every single import is going to come in and has worms. So that's, you're going to fight with worms the first off, and then you're going to run a NITO test and, 90-day quarantine. And, it's just, I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on what your path is or what your plan is. You just want a pet, or are you trying to build a collection, or are you trying to, have some kind of trophy animal and some elaborate bioactive display? It just kind of depends on what you want to do.
What I've been witnessing is people buying a snake from Bill or myself, and then they obviously they don't have the bank account to buy every fucking designer, but they're like, hey, let me add some import blood, and which is fine. But the thing is, these people don't really understand what a fucking quarantine is. They really feel like putting it in the corner on the opposite side of the room is safe enough, and that's just not how you quarantine. Like if you're gonna fuck around, want to dabble, you need to isolate this animal for at least a year.
Yeah. And you need to be very familiar with the drugs that you're using to treat the animal, like the metronidazole and the fenbendazole. You need to be very familiar with those drugs and have a vet on standby. And you have to have a separate room with a separate rack and a separate everything and separate tools, everything, if you're going to be doing that.
No doubt. And that's the last place you go. Once you go there, you never
absolutely
go back.
Yeah.
It's
a different day. You work that stuff on a different day completely.
You can work it the same day, but you just don't go back.
Go forward. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
And again, I feel like it's a lot easier said than done. People forget that, oh shit, I just touched my fucking import, and here I am touching my well-established stuff. Yeah, and it's easy just to get complacent and not be on top of it. Being on top of it, it's a lot of brain.
Just the tongs. It's the tongs, man. Just like using the same tongs, and a snake bites the tongue, a little bit of that saliva, then you're passing that on to the next snake. Or worse, you're putting the tongs into the water that you're thawing all of your mice in. Boom, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
That's the worst recipe right there. That right there freaks me out, man.
Like I said, it could take you out. One mistake could take you out, and then you've invested tens of thousands of dollars, and now you're out. And you got to be so careful. You got to be really careful.
All right, wrap up topic. I'll go first, and then we'll go to Bill and Marshall. But we talked in the beginning about breeder loans and whatnot. So let's give advice to anyone out there. One thing you should really consider not doing when doing a breeder loan, and one thing you should do when doing a breeder loan, Brian.
Let me plug in my charger again. We'll try not to overheat my phone, but I'm at 5%.
Breeder
loans. Breeder loans. I think that you really got to have a good relationship with the people that you're working with. You got to feel safe enough to be honest with them and them be honest with you. So you have to have just a really good, solid communication base there. I think that, they should be local, although the people that I work with aren't local. Working with people who are local would be much better, in my opinion.
Totally.
Agreed.
I don't recommend it. I mean, all in all, I don't recommend breeder loans unless you have to, because it sucks working for other people and sending half your snakes out. At the end of the day, that sucks. And I've done it multiple times, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You put in 6 months of work on these things, and then you're sending half your snakes out, and you make good on
You
your
got to
word.
remember though, they're really not. They're
They're
those
not your
half you're
snake.
sending out really weren't yours to begin with. So
Right. So it wouldn't have been possible without Lupe and without David. But yeah, if you don't have to, don't. And if you do have the opportunity to do, make sure that you're, doing it with your friends.
And they have that saying, like, don't go in business with your friends. And I feel like this is kind of the same thing. Like you could really potentially ruin a good relationship.
Absolutely. You could.
One weird thing, like people have some type of feelings when it comes to you having success, or like I get this, you get that, or whatever. Like one of my only falling outs I've ever had with somebody was off a fucking breeder loan. And again, like I was under a certain understanding that he wasn't on, and it really fucked everything up. So I'm with you, dude. I'd rather not do any fucking collaborations. You know what I mean? I unless it's like an Alex Warren situation where this guy lives next to me, he's coming over to my house, and we're like this, and I'm fucking, I'm mentoring him and stuff like that. Okay, that's different. But having somebody that you're sending a snake with from a social media relationship all the way across the country, dicey, bro. Super dicey.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Dicey.
all right.
Very dicey. Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go next? Bill?
Yeah, sure. Brian, I think it's safe to say Aru is your bread and butter, your favorite locality type. What's your second favorite locality type?
Yeah. Oh, second favorite locality. It's gotta be Maruke.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
It's gotta be Maruke. Yeah, I like the white. I like the white stripe.
Yeah.
You're not trying to butter up Ryan Young, are you?
No, not at all. And I hate to even speak his name, but Bruce Carpenter has some really nice Maruke too. And it's unfortunate.
All right, that's all we have on this episode. Fuck, Brian. Don't ever bring that douche.
Oh my God! But he's got the Maruke, man. He's got the Maruke. You already know.
Yeah.
I know. Fuck that guy,
The
man.
the UVA, the UVB. Yeah.
He's got it all.
You got Rico Wilder's animals. I don't ever want to hear that fucking idiot's name on this show ever again.
Yeah,
Please.
well, I apologize, but yeah, no, Maruke, dude. I just really like the white stripe, and I'd love to have some of that here, and then mix it with my Aru, of course.
Brian, I love you, by the way. I had to let that out, just so you know.
No, you're good. You're good, man. You're good. We all feel the same way about the guy, man. I promise you.
Anyways, all right. Marshall, send us home, buddy.
What generation pure Aru are you at now? And
I'll be going into F2s. F2s. I'll have some F2s this year. So
in your F1 generation, you were able to produce high whites.
In F1s, oh shit.
Yeah, see, that's what happens. You bring up fucking retards' names, and this
Phone's
is fucking
dead.
shit's all fucked up. Damn it! See, he cursed himself. He cursed himself, dude. I hope. Okay, any future on the Tree Tuesday, all in the future on the Tree Tuesday guests, remember this: don't ever bring a fucking idiot's name ever on this network, and this right here won't happen to you.
And don't bring an Android.
Don't bring an Android. Oh shit! Well, are we not going to see Brian? Brian, is your phone? Yeah, he's done, I guess. All right. Well, listen. What an episode! And it's funny how this episode ended because
isn't it? It's the curse of the carpenter.
That wasn't me, guys. Just so you know, it wasn't me. That was the gods right there. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. No, what a good episode. Listen, I love Brian, bro. Obviously he has a true passion for this, and this is why talking to someone like this on the Tree Tuesday is fucking everything that we do, man. So good episode. What'd you guys think?
Oh yeah, great episode.
It's cool. It's the first time I met Brian. Yeah, very nice guy.
Yeah.
A good guy, good heart. You can tell he takes a lot of stuff personally. His success and his failures. So somebody that has a heart like that, attitude like that, you got to respect it.
And goddamn the cojones on that guy to say that name. Holy shit! I will say that props, Brian, for you to fucking drop that name. But it also felt good for me to get that out. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you for that. I'm not shit.
I see that. I see the fire.
Yeah, dude.
I see a letter. I feel a letter coming on.
I feel a letter coming.
I hope it's him who delivers it. I really do. I hope he physically delivers the letter. I would love to see that. I'm gonna tell Capone sick balls if he has any.
You're
All right.
killing me.
Anyways,
Killing me.
that was great. Looking forward to having Brian at Bill's party in September. That's for sure. It's going down.
Yes.
But great episode, boys. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who tapped in. Guys, Red Mountain Herps on IG. Go give them a follow and go subscribe. Phoenix Reptiles. But that's it. Give it up. It's a wrap for Marshall and Bill, ladies and gentlemen.
Boy,
Peace out, guys.
see you in a couple weeks.
Hey, take care of that rotator cuff, Bill. See you at the top.
It's all good. Thank you, brother.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you so much. All right, guys. I appreciate everyone who tapped in. Holy shit. Still can't believe it. Hit that like button before you guys leave. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Select all. You'll be reminded every episode released on the network 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Brand new episodes dropped right here. Okay. And you can listen to all these episodes on all major audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, wherever. All right. Thank you so much. What a great episode. Again, find all the links to my sponsors in the description below. And I'll see you here Thursday night. And I'm out. Just sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Shout out to tonight's sponsor brought to you by ZooMed.
ZooMed is proud to be supporting the Trap Talk Reptile Network. At ZooMed, reptiles are our passion. For over 48 years, we've been creating premium foods, supplies, and habitats for reptiles and other exotic animals. We're a company made up of hobbyists that test our products on the hundreds of animals that we care for here every single day. Whether you're an established breeder or a first-time hobbyist picking up your first ball python, ZooMed has you covered with everything you need to keep your animals happy and healthy.
I'm excited to talk about this new product with ZooMed called the Slither Sense. It is a remote temperature and humidifying monitoring system, which we all know how important temperature and humidity is to your reptile. And for you to have remote access to your temperature and your humidity in your reptile room could really, really be a game changer for the longevity of you keeping reptiles. So guys, make sure you check out that product. Find the link in the description below. Click on it right now. Give me your feedback in the comments below. Let me know how you're liking a brand new ZooMed product. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats, the #1 PVC enclosure in the reptile industry. Hands down, everything you guys see behind me are 3x2x2 PVC design enclosures by Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. My entire room at this point, all Focus Cube Habitat enclosures, and that is for a real reason. My reptiles love them. I've had majority of these Focus Cube Habitats behind me for over 6 years now. So guys, if you're looking to expand your reptile room and get yourself some new enclosures, no better place to visit than Focus Cube Habitat. You head over to focuscubehabitats.com and see how many different design enclosures you could choose from. And you can also follow them on Instagram and stay updated with all current new enclosures on their YouTube channel. So thank you so much, Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. And I think I got new enclosures in the driveway, so I gotta go. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats. You are the best. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Mark Hager over at Texas Chondros. If you want to talk to somebody who likes to put people on the map, you have to go follow TX Chondros on Instagram. He has put on some of the biggest breeders out in Texas out on his platform on Instagram. Also displays some of his own amazing projects on his Instagram. You could also simply go to his website, see what pairings he has going on for this season, and also see his previous productions. Mark has been working with yellow neonates on top of red neonates, and his passion for this hobby is second to none. He's also mentored a lot of people like myself. So thank you so much, Mark Hager, for all your support. And if you guys really want to know how it is about building a community, then you got to go check out Texas Chondros. Thank you so much, Texas Chondros, for all your support. Cannot wait to see what you're all about in the 2026 breeding season. Tonight's episode is brought to you by David Brahms from the Reptile Perch. If you have an arboreal species, you definitely want to make sure you are using a David Brahms design perch over at the Reptile Perch. You can get any size perch you want for any size arboreal, anywhere from hatchlings all the way from adults. Everything you see behind me is on a David Brahms design PVC perch. So thank you so much to the Reptile Perch for doing everything that you've been doing with these awesome, affordable perches for people to take advantage of. And you can find David Brahms's website in the description below. Simply go to www.reptileperch.com or just go to Reptile Perch on Instagram. And you can also see many of David's awesome green tree python projects. He's also a highly successful green tree python breeder. Been looking up to for the last few years as well. So to have his support really means the world to me. Thank you so much, David Brahms over the Reptile Perch.
For over a decade, we've pursued a singular vision, producing the finest breeding stock the hobby has ever seen. From carefully planned pairings to thoughtfully designed environments, every detail is considered. And when you bring one of our animals home, you're not on your own. We provide lifetime husbandry support every step of the way. Whether you're building your first enclosure or expanding your collection, we're here for you. Sundown Reptiles.
Shout out to tonight's sponsor, and that's the one and only Morph Market and Morph Market Shipping. One of the biggest exciting things about the reptile hobby over the past couple years is Morph Market Shipping taking everything to the next level. Anything as far as reptile purchasing or selling needs can all be done on Morph Market's website. So I highly suggest you go check it out, especially if you're in the market of purchasing your first, second, or third, or fourth reptile. You can find a bunch of legitimate breeders on Morph Market's platforms. They stand very tall on representing the best breeders we have in the hobby. So don't look anywhere else when it comes to looking for your new reptile. Not to mention, if you're looking for aquatics or your next plant, Morph Market's a spot for you as well. Make sure you head over to morphmarket.com. And the best thing about Morph Market's platform, you could ship directly from their website with Morph Market Shipping. Morph Market Shipping has saved this hobby millions of dollars as a whole. I myself saved thousands with Morph Market Shipping last year due to their insanely cheap rates. So definitely go take advantage of these rates on top of the amazing customer service that comes along with Morph Market Shipping. Shout out to Darian and Zach, and shout out to the entire Morph Market team. So proud to be a part of this team. Thank you so much for Morph Market Shipping and Morph Market, and so excited to announce new Morph Market features that are going to be hitting the reptile hobby real soon, like live sales on Morph Market. Thank you so much, Morph Market and Morph Market Shipping. Tonight's episode is brought to you by David Brahms from the Reptile Perch. If you have an arboreal species, you definitely want to make sure you are using a David Brahms design perch over at the Reptile Perch. You can get any size perch you want for any size arboreal, anywhere from hatchlings all the way from adults. Everything you see behind me is on a David Brahms design PVC perch. So thank you so much to the Reptile Perch for doing everything that you've been doing with these awesome, affordable perches for people to take advantage of. And you can find David Brahms's website in the description below. Simply go to www.reptileperch.com or just go to Reptile Perch on Instagram. And you can also see many of David's awesome green tree python projects. He's also a highly successful green tree python breeder. Been looking up to for the last few years as well. So to have his support really means the world to me. Thank you so much, David Brahms over at the Reptile Perch. Thank you for all the fellow support. Thank you so much for anyone who watches the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Hit that like button. If you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, you'll be notified of every new episode dropping here out of the network 7 days a week. And also by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, it pushes this network out to other new keepers coming into the hobby. So by you doing that, it does more than you think. So thank you so much again for all the support. And if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. We're doing big things over here and we really appreciate it.